So we've saved the best till last, and the final thing we're going to be putting into the 110 project build is this lockbox from Exmoor Trim. It's a fantastic bit of kit, it's really well made, it's so strong, it's locked and it's bolted into the vehicle. So if you've got a soft top like this, you can guarantee that this will be a nice, safe, secure place for any possessions and important documents, etc. Now, a few additions to the one that we've had in a previous Defender is they've put this dust cap over the key lock, which is a great idea because obviously if you've got the roof off and it's raining, it's going to rust, and also it stops dirt and grit and dust and everything getting into it if you're overseas, perhaps in the desert. So inside, it's enormous. You've got a massive space in there. You've carpeted at the bottom. And you've got those nice little cup holders at the front as well, which is a luxury you don't normally get in a military 110. So all we have to do is put it into position and mark up where it sits, where we want it to sit, and then you've simply got these 4 recesses here, and that's what you bolt your bottom plate onto, and then you're going to lock that into the vehicle. So let's see how it's done. It should be pretty quick. Now this isn't something you have to do, but we're going to take the passenger seat base off just so you can see what we're doing a little bit more clearly. And notice we've actually got new seats in the vehicle now. They come from Exmoor Trim as well. It's a real cheap upgrade, but it transforms the interior, I think you'll agree. Now, before I offer the cubby box into position, I can already see we're going to have a bit of a problem. Because of these rifle mounts stick out into the front here, we're going to have to remove these in order to get the box on. So we're going to do that first and then we'll kick on. Okay, so I've got the lockbox exactly where I want it, so what I'm going to do now is just open the lid, and there's a base in here that I'm just going to remove. Okay, so I'm going to drill 2 pilot holes first with a smaller 4mm drill bit, and that will give me the location. Then once I've got it out of the vehicle, I'll drill larger holes to give us a little bit more movement. Now I'm not going to drill all the way through, just in case there's some sensitive components for the gearbox, transfer box and cables underneath that plate. Better just to mark it now and then go through completely when we're on the bench. Okay, so you can see my 2 drill points here where I've marked on the plate. It's slightly off centre, but that actually works inside the vehicle because it's quite old. Obviously there's been some movement. So I'm going to drill these out first and then open them up with a larger drill bit later. So once you've got your plate on, the best thing to do now is to actually mark the position of these extensions on the actual base plate itself, and then drill them separately, take it all apart again. So with the plate in position on the lower bolts, I'm just going to mark now where I want to drill for the upper bolts. So I've got my Sharpie pen. What I'm going to do is follow the line on the side and at the top. Right, so we've drilled all the holes now. The nice thing is they're slightly oversized. As I said before, we've drilled 8mm holes for the 6mm bolts, and that's given us a little bit of movement to make sure that we can get it centralised just how we want it. So we'll nip these up, and hopefully it should just drop straight into the vehicle, and we'll just screw the front plate down into the seat box. So another nice feature about this lockbox is this mesh net you've got at the back here, which is great because you can store maps, all sorts of things in it. If you've got a station wagon, it's even better because you can actually, get access to it easily from the back seats, whether it be a 90 or a 110. In our vehicle, pickup or a truck utility like this, it's still quite useful because although it's tucked away, it's good if you don't want people to get access or see that storage area at the back there, but you want to be able to get stuff out of it, so it is really handy. Now the actual base plate itself does sit into a grooved tongue lip on the back of the seat box, so we've got to make sure that we get that in properly, and that will secure it at the back. We can check by lifting the back up, and it's not lifting, so we've got it in position. So I'm going to use this flexible attachment to my drill, and then I'm just going to try and get these in position. So okay, that's one in position. Now I've cheated slightly on a lot of the floor panelling in this vehicle because it's quite old, and a lot of the receiving lugs for the panels are worn and quite brittle. So I've used these combination bolts which have got a drill end on them that actually drills into the metal itself, and then a self-tapped thread on there, so they go in, they're very secure and you can get a really firm hold. So I've got my self-tapped bolts in there in position now. All I've got to do is just nip them up and make sure that everything's nice and secure. Once it's all secure in there, don't forget the last bit is to put the carpet mat back in there. Drop it in, that covers all the nuts, all the bolt heads up, and it's good to go.